Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of I Don't Know How to Check to See If Everything is Recording Correctly. If you can't tell already, this is the future me in this video, which didn't catch this in the present. So you know, if you know me, you know what I always say, past me making future me problems, hence why I'm here. Long story short, we are going into another battle of 3 with a shiny team, rocking that Dawn fan with the Ghost type Terra, Sturdy and Leftovers, just so I can live one hit no matter what it is, unless I get burned or poisoned. And Leftovers give me a little bit HP after every turn. Rocking Earthquake, Knockoff, Rapid Spin, Ice Spinner, because I really need a knockoff just to get rid of things, items, like Pokemon's items, because they can be a hassle. Next, we got Palmont, rocking Electric type Terra with Natural Cure and Focus Sash, just essentially so we can live a hit. Rocking Close Combat, Double Shock, Revival Blessing, and Fake Out, because the Revival Blessing I kind of want to use. Try to mess around with, try to get like something back up into the game and running, you know. Grumpig, one of the mons that struggles the most on this team. So I got Grumpig, rocking Thick Fat and Citrus Berry with a Fighting type Terra, just to get rid of its Bug type weakness, Dark type weakness, and its Ghost type weakness. And then we have Shy Shock, Nasty Plot, Earth Power, and Icy Wind. I've been debating getting rid of Earth Power just to kind of like switch it out. I don't know. It's kind of forgot how these games go, even though I'm editing it now. But then we're going to go on to Hydreigon, who is rocking the Fire type Terra. It has Levitate as the ability and Life Orb, just so it hits a little bit harder at the cost of a little bit of life. Rocking Dragon Pulse, U-Turn, Earth Power, and Snarl. There's a lot of Earth Powers on this. Can you see that I'm scared of Iron Hands? I want to just make sure that there's always something to deal with them. And then we got Talonflame, rocking the Gale Wings, which gives priority to Flying type moves. The Flying type Terra, rocking Tailwind, Brave Bird, Quick Attack, and Will-O-Wisp. Essentially, it's just there to hit something either really hard with a Flying type move or slow everything down and burn stuff. It has Covert Cloak, which gets rid of like secondary effects. And then we have Dreadnought TMNT with Strong Jaw, White Herb, Shell Smash, Liquidation, Rock Slide, and Crunch. It is rocking the Water type Terra, just because why not? Make it hit harder with Liquidation. And the White Herb is there for the Shell Smash, just in case any of my stats get lowered, they go back to normal, even with Shell Smash, which lowers my defense and goes back up to normal. So yeah, I'll catch you in that first battle. Alright, we're into that first battle, and this team I can say was actually a very interesting team, and I actually liked the concept of it, because not only did I forget what that fourth Pokemon's name was, but it also has a move that I thought was only exclusive to Palmont. So essentially what this whole team is rocking is a setup for Annihilate, not Grimmsnarl, my bad. But Grimmsnarl is there to set up screens, to paralyze things, or not paralyze, but to switch items with things and to lower special attack. So it's rocking Light Screen, which lessens the damage from special type moves, and then has Reflect, which is lessening the damage taken by physical type moves. And the whole reason for that is because they want Annihilate to set up, because they're rocking Palmont and Rapska. I think it's his name, Rapska. Those two have a move called Revival Blessing. And essentially what Revival Blessing does is it takes a Pokemon that has been knocked out or is fainted and brings it back to like half health. And the reason why that's so good is because if you have a Pokemon that hits really hard or is really tanky, such as Grimmsnarl or Annihilate, you can just keep bringing them back even after they're knocked out. And it kind of made it hard to get past this team because the damage reductions were really up there, making everything take like, instead of being like 50% health, they would be at 25% health, which is half of a health. So, 1/4 damage. It's just, everything is crazy. But yeah, this team is very fun to go against because I didn't catch on to what was going on until after the Rapska came in. So essentially, my whole thought process here was to get rid of Annihilate because he's just going to keep hitting hard, where in reality, I think I should have been targeting the Grimmsnarl. Because once you get rid of the Grimmsnarl, you can't set up screens anymore. The only issue with that is he's going to keep Revival Blessing things. Even though you can use that move only once, it's still going to be useful for both. So, for example, you can bring back literally these two and set up again with the two that you bring back with Revival Blessing. But yeah, as you saw there, he switched items with me, giving me Legging Tail, which if I'm not mistaken makes me move last. But because I set up the Tailwind, his team is slower. Then he sets up the Taunt for me because he knows this Pokemon can Will-O-Wisp. He knows this Pokemon has Tailwind, and he doesn't want me like lessening the damage or anything from it. So essentially what you're going to see for the rest of this is me just trying to knock out the teams and get them to stop setting up, but it's kind of hard for me to do that because I didn't catch on quick enough, if that makes sense. But overall, still had a fun time with this, and I'll let you guys watch the video there real quick. I'll just speed it up after this and then get you in that next one. All right, now we're into that second battle here, and as you see, it is a team of Ironmoth, Mousehold, Meowscarada, Annihilate, Tornadus, and Chien-Pao. So, you know, just heavy hitters, both especially and physically, and overall, this entire team, I was actually kind of excited to see because I don't face a lot of Ironmoths. Essentially, I don't fight anything that aren't the top three. It's usually the bottom three that I see a lot of. So, seeing an Ironmoth, I kind of didn't know what it had going on, because it is a fire poison type, if I'm not mistaken, but I didn't know what moves it rocks and what kind of moves it has and like what its setup moves are and what it tries to do. So I was kind of going in blind. Meowscarada, I kind of understood some of it, and then Mousehold, I just know its population bomb is essentially what it is with loaded dice, which what loaded dice does is if you have a move that it can hit anywhere, like if you just have a move that can hit 1 to 4 times, it gives you a guaranteed 4 times. Or like it raises the chances of it hitting more. So Mousehold has a move called Population Bomb that can hit up to, I believe it is 10 times. So essentially what they're trying to do here is they're going to probably set up with Ironmoth and then go into Annihilate, or start off with Annihilate, set in, or just, you know, slow my team down and hit as hard as possible with the Tornadus. Is that Tornadus? I believe so, yes. With the Tornadus, and giving the Tailwind, which slows my team down for 4 turns, 5 turns. And it's just me going in blind, essentially. I still had fun against the team because it's fun trying to guess what they were going into or what the setup moves were for Ironmoth, because you're going to see me terrasilize almost immediately because I didn't know what kind of moves Ironmoth has. So, like, in my head, Ironmoth doesn't have a fairy type move. I thought it was only fire and poison, but apparently it gets a fire type, or it gets a fairy type move, Dazzling Gleam, which is 4 times effective against my Hydreigon. And I'm like, well, let me just terrasilize and get rid of that. But of course, as you can see, as the video starts to speed up, it doesn't go very well for me. And yeah, so overall, this team, just everything he brought countered my team or did a lot of damage to my team. But it was fun to understand and learn about Ironmoth, because I now know that Ironmoth gets Dazzling Gleam. Never knew it, never would have guessed it. But yeah, and then it's kind of nice to get like ideas from other teams and see what they can do and see what they're rocking, just to get a better understanding of like or at least open up opportunities for me. So as you see, you know, I'm getting hit with a two hit type move and another move that hits both. But yeah, it's essentially just going to be me getting mollywopped for the entirety of this. So I might speed it up, I might not. I might just keep talking. We'll find out after production here. But this team that I'm facing is very well stacked against me, and that's no one's fault but my own, because as this series entails, everything I do is just because I want to try it. It's just because I want to do what I can do with what I got. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you're going to see me go into TMNT here, try to do something to get rid of both of them. So like a Rock Slide will be super effective, but I don't think I live very far. I believe he's Sacred Swords here, which is effective, super effective against TMNT because he's a rock type. So yeah, I'm just going to speed this part up and call it good. So getting into the final battle and the final team here, it's going to be against Nicole's Snow team, which this team actually was very fun to play against and probably my favorite of the three, if not second, because it is something that I haven't seen in a long time is an Alolan Ninetales, but I've seen like other snow teams like Abomasnow with Snow Warning, which if the people who don't know who are watching this, what Snow Warning does is when you enter the battlefield or when the Pokemon is sent out onto the battlefield, it turns the entire battlefield into like a blizzard. So it makes snow type moves more effective, and it also makes blizzard, which is the strongest snow or ice type move, hit 100%. So instead of having like 70% accuracy, it has 100% accuracy because it's snowing. So essentially what this team is Alolan Ninetales has Snow Warning, which as you saw when it entered, it made, the snow pop up. And what it's going to do is set up a move called Aurora Veil, which is both Reflect and... what is that other one? I keep forgetting. Light Screen, which is Reflect and Light Screen at the same time, but it can only be used during a snowstorm. So for about 4 to 5 turns, my physical type moves and my special type moves are all weakened. So this whole time is me just struggling to try to like find an answer for everything here, because everything here is going to do mad amount of damage or is going to outspeed me. So even with the Tailwind up, I'm not going to be doing that much damage to anyone or anything. But as you saw there, I went for a Will-O-Wisp on the Landorus because I know it has U-Turn, because PTSD from this Pokemon. I keep forgetting it has U-Turn, and I say it in almost like every video, don't forget it has U-Turn, don't forget it has U-Turn, because guess what, everyone? It has U-Turn. But this is probably the first time you actually get to see Grumpig do something, or Butters, as I call her. Or is it him? Call him. But you get to see me set up just a little bit, and then this is where I really realize that Grumpig isn't really good in a doubles battle, because its only effective move is Icy Wind here against that Landorus, which you see it do U-Turn. But because it's burned, it only did like half my life, if almost half. But its only effective move it has is Icy Wind, because the other two moves that it's rocking aren't going to be really effective against that. That's why I was debating getting rid of Earth Power for like Shadow Ball or Dark Pulse or Snarl or just something else that isn't Earth Power. Because if I have 2 Pokemon that have Earth Power, I could always give Grumpig something else. So I'll probably be rebuilding this team more than likely, because I really want Grumpig to work. I just want to win one game with this, which I have, and I might include at the end of this video just so you can see that this team is capable of winning. Very, very low, like a low rate at it, but it's there. But as you see here, we just start lowering each other's speed and just start hitting each other, and then the Hyper Voice comes out, and for some of you who don't know, Ursaluna, or Blood Moon Ursaluna, this one specifically, Ursaluna normally is a physical type or a physical attacker. It's very bulky and it hits very hard on the physical type. So like moves like Earthquake, or if it wanted to learn like Thunder Punch or something, it's gonna hit really hard physically. Whereas Blood Moon Ursaluna is a special attacker, which means, as you saw there with Hyper Voice, it's gonna use that move and it hits 2 at a time. It's moves that don't make contact, essentially, is what a special attacker is. So like Flamethrower, Lightning Bolt, stuff like that. You're not hitting the opponent with your body. You're using essentially the move itself to hit the Pokemon. But yeah, we just essentially get into this like back and forth, and this is where I debated getting rid of U-Turn on Hydreigon and getting Flamethrower, just so I have a stab Flamethrower type move, or fire type move. And Flamethrower would have just personally done numbers here, because if I could have burned the Ursaluna or burned the Ninetales, it would have been gone. Either one would have been fun, but as you see here, he's intimidating me, thinking I'm a physical attacker. I am not a physical attacker. And it just ends up with me just using Snarl a bunch, and then just accepting that there's nothing I can do to get rid of the Pokemon that I see on the screen currently. So I will eventually, I don't think I play this game out. I might be wrong, but I'm more than positive I just kind of let it just ride out and be like, well, that's it. And then just hit quit. But overall, GG's to my opponent. This team was actually very cool, like I said at the beginning. Very fun to play against, and it's always refreshing to see Pokemon that aren't in the meta be in, like, on the screen. So yeah, to everyone who stayed this long, if there's a cool little video at the end of this, then go me. If not, well, I'll see you guys in the next one.